Hello Australians. We have asked the President of Australia First to convey what Australia First's stance towards the federal government is, as well as his own take on the federal government.
Good evening, Australians. I've been asked by our Vice President and a lot of Australian First members, as well as the other presidents, to comment on our federal government and what Australian First's stance is towards the federal government of Australia. So I've put together a little piece on my laptop just to explain where I am coming from as an individual in terms of my attitude towards the federal government of Australia and what Australian First's stance is towards the federal government of Australia, led by our Prime Minister, Mr. Tony Abbott. Well, let's not pay any attention to any negativity in the media at present or that has been in the past. Let's for a second, well, not that we need to give him a fair go, we love our Prime Minister, but for all you critics, put aside all the trouble you may have or all the negativity running around in your mind put that all aside, all that negativity and the attitude that you form towards our Prime Minister. And let's look at the big picture. Let's look at what has happened since he has entered, since they have become the government of our great country, Australia. One, he stopped the boats. This year alone, I don't know the statistic off my head, but no boat has made it to shore on Australia. And this has been confirmed by several friends of mine who serve in the Royal Australian Navy. No, they have not made shore. And this rubbish floating around that our Prime Minister is stopping media outlets or people from accessing files or the truth or whatever they want to say, it's all rubbish. No boats have made it. And from that, we've saved hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds. We don't... I can't begin to explain where we've saved. We make a lot of savings by stopping the boats. Whether it's the people that have to guard them in detention, their food, their clothing, paperwork, the work of the Navy, all sorts of things are taken into consideration. They have saved a lot. Two, our Prime Minister has defended our sovereignty, our right to be Australian, and I will reiterate what he said during his acceptance speech. Australia is now Australia again, and may those words live long in Australian history. May we always utter them in remembrance of our Prime Minister, that this is Australia, and it will never be anything else. He is defending our sovereignty. There have been many other countries, or not many other countries, sorry, there are a few countries in particular which I won't name, that have complained and have had the problem with our country, and he has defended our country. He has defended his ministers. He has defended us as Australians. He's certainly protecting us as Australians. Another thing, 3, our Prime Minister gave the green light for Sydney's second airport, which will in turn pave way for 60,000 jobs, as he said. There are many jobs, whether it's the new railway or the roads that have to be built, the airport itself, the commercial districts that will be built around it, and the prospect of Sydney's second CBD, which will be enormous, Blacktown City. Now, it hasn't been confirmed. It's not official yet. This is a decision, obviously, the New South Wales government have to make and the federal government. But there is a high chance that the state government will move to Blacktown, and Blacktown will become Sydney's next CBD. And God willing, hopefully that does happen, because that will certainly create a lot more than 60,000 jobs. And yeah, this is something that's been the talk of the town for 50 years, and it's all happening now. 4, the paid parental scheme. Now, a lot of people see this as unfair for others or a travesty and all sorts of things, but they don't look at the bigger picture, that this will certainly boost the birth rate of Australians. This will be an incentive for Australian women to work and also have children. A lot of Australian women don't want to have children because they can't pay for it, because of the current trends of work life. So it's a brilliant idea. It will also, we won't be losing out, we'll actually be making in the long term, because productivity, people don't understand that productivity generates revenue, generates a larger GDP, GDP, gross domestic product. And the fact that more women will be happy to enter the workforce means our productivity will go up, means we have more money at the end of the day. So we're not losing out, we're gaining, and we will have more Australian children. Another thing, 5. Sorry, is this? Yes, 5. The Knight Award, which got abolished in previous times, which our Prime Minister has now reinstated. It promotes people to do good things, and more importantly, it will encourage Australian patriotism. That's what we want to see. It will encourage people to do things that most people don't dare to do, to put their life on the line, to help people, to fund things, to do things that good people do. And that's what the Knight Award does. A Knight Award can be awarded to anybody. It's not something given to elite people. You have this status perhaps of elite, whatever you want to call it, or knight, when you do a good thing. And this can be made possible by anybody who does a good deed. I mean, a very good deed, something that will obviously attract one of the highest awards in this country, which our Prime Minister has reinstated. So this is something that will promote good things. So it's far from bad. 6. Our Prime Minister did something other Prime Ministers haven't done before, or not that they haven't done before, on the scale. He took hundreds of men with him overseas for a trade agreement, which will bring in over the long term hundreds of billions, and will promote not only much growth, but jobs. Thousands of jobs. I mean, this is massive. 7. The Minister for, I believe, Education, Christopher Pyne, a very, very good man. He has green-lighted $8 billion in funding for our education. That's huge. That's massive. It'll be in the long term, for the next 5 or 10 years, I would imagine. But what this does is it deregulates our current tertiary system, and it puts not mechanisms, it puts new things in place where people... essentially, our education is going to be more Americanized at the tertiary level. It's not that, it doesn't mean we're going to become American. It just means the way that education is delivered. It gives people greater freedoms. There's more chance for people to go into special courses that weren't delivered before. It does a lot of things. Deregulation of the system is what we need. The Australian education system has become lethargic. We don't sing the anthem anymore. There are many things we don't do, and this $8 billion boost would do amazing things. And I think 8. Our Prime Minister has purchased 72 of the world's greatest fighter jets. We currently have the best defence force in the world as it is, along with Britain and other countries, some other countries. But we do. We are very safe here. We have among, if not the best, defence force in the world, and it just got a lot safer. And, now, with all this good that has been done, we are left at this. The safety of our nation internally, and the safety and greatness of our country. We want to carry on for we want this to carry on for future generations. We must sacrifice now. It's not like low or middle income earners will suffer the repercussions. It's going to be high income earners that suffer the repercussions. Not even suffer. It's going to be high income earners that have to sacrifice. But this is for the long term. This must be done. We must put all the rubbish aside and all the rumours aside. Our Prime Minister and Treasurer are making the best decisions possible at the moment. We must support them. We must sacrifice what it is we have to now. We are living in Australia. We live better than nearly any country in the world. We must sacrifice now. We must come as a nation together now. because it's not too late, and it doesn't have to get that way. Let's support our Prime Minister. Let's support what he has to say and what decision he will make, because it's for our benefit. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.